I'm going to be talking about the POD HD300 in this video. I won't actually be playing through the unit, so if you want to hear how it sounds, there's already some really good demos here on YouTube. You can check those out. This is mainly for information purposes. There's a couple of things I noticed about the HD300 that may, sway your decision on whether you want one or not. POD currently has 3 units. There's the 300, 400, and 500. Each one is about $100 apart in price. There's 2 things I noticed now that I have the 300 that you may not like. Now for me, the 300 is actually a lot smaller, and that's good for me because it can sit on my table. Since I only use this for recording, I don't use it as a pedal board or anything, so that works really well for me. But one of the reasons it's smaller is there's 2 buttons missing for bank up and bank down. And the way a pod works and most multi-effects works is you have your presets. This one has 4 presets, 4 distinct sounds. Then you would move it up to a second bank, and then you have 4 different sounds. You move it up to another bank, you have 4 different sounds again, to however many banks you have. To move up and down through the banks with this one, the way I usually do it, because I'm just sitting right here, is I don't know if you can see that little button here, right here. If I push up and down, you can see the banks are moving there, 31, 30. I can hit this with my socks. I tried it on the floor. With a pair of shoes on, I probably could never hit this accurately. Even with socks, it's hard because there's this metal bar here. And the other way to do it is to go to the first 2 preset buttons. You press them both at the same time, and then this one with the arrow here becomes bank up, and this one becomes bank down. So you go bank down like that. And then if you want to go back down again, you have to hit them both, which kind of means turning your foot sideways a little and hitting them like that, and then you'd go bank down again. If you want to jump a few banks at a time, that would get old really quick. I think it would get old really quick in general. If you only use like 4 sounds, then there's no big deal. You're never jumping through banks. But I think if I was using a floor unit, I would want one with those dedicated bank up and bank down foot switches. That would be a real important thing for me. The other thing that I noticed, and I can probably show you easier here on the Line 6 software, even though you can do this all from the pod itself, is the way the effects are set up. There's 3 different spots for effects, 1, 2, and 3, and you can't move effects from one to the other. You're kind of stuck with what's in each one, and you can only use whatever's in each one once. So let's say effect 1, and effect 1 is the most important one because it has a lot of things that you'd want to use, and some maybe at the same time. So this has all your distortions, your compressors, your overdrives. It even has an EQ built in here, although there's another EQ. And it has things like your smart harmony, which works really well. The harmony is on here, but of course you couldn't use that and a distortion at the same time. So you're kind of limited, especially on this one, in what you can do. So Bank 2 has most of your modulation effects, things like your chorus, flanger, phaser, that kind of stuff, tremolo, whatever. Once again, there's lots of effects here to choose from. It's just that you can only use one at a time. So if you want a phaser and a flanger at the same time, it can't be done on this unit. Effects 3 is your echo, reverb, or sorry, echo and delay. That's all there is in there, and this isn't as much of a problem because you're not normally using more than one delay or echo at a time, so that's less of a problem. I should note also that they give you a separate dedicated reverb, so no matter what effects you choose, you have a separate reverb, you have a separate noise gate, and you have a separate wah that you can add on top of any of those, whatever effects you choose from. My understanding is that the HD400 is the same way, and it's not until you get up to the HD500 that you can do all kinds of routing with effects. You can add any effect you want and in any order and stick it anywhere. You're not limited in any way. So that may or may not be a deal breaker for you as far as effects goes. Now, if you really like effects, there's still a lot of weird sounds you can conjure up with this thing. I went through some of the presets, and some of the sounds are really crazy, especially the synth sounds. So I think it would satisfy most people's need for effects. I guess the best thing is to go into the store and try it and see. But anyway, those are the 2 things that I found about this unit that people may want to know about before they buy one, and decide for yourself whether it's worth it or not, or you should move up to a more expensive unit. All right, thank you very much.